categories to how any money that was collected has been spent, but yet they want to pull for new taxes. And the organization that I'm working with, we had somebody come and speak to us. There's two categories that you can create a TIF under the category of blighted community, and then there's another one that's like some kind of conservative. I can't think of the other definition because I'm not that well versed in TIFs. But this is going to have some significant impact on our community to turn the entire village into TIF. Move money away from the park district, the school district, the library board, any of our municipal organizations that receive that money. Their money is going to be capped.
We are going to go ahead and get started.
And so as costs continue to rise, they're going to have to find other sources of revenue because they will not be able to get money from taxes because they're going into TIF.
Trustee Williams?
Here.
Trustee Sanchez? Trustee Jones?
Here.
Trustee Owsley? Here. Trustee Smiley?
Here.
Trustee Brandon?
Here.
Mayor Booker?
Here.
Quorum present.
Let the record show that Trustee Jones and Trustee Sanchez are calling remotely due to work. And then can we get Trustee Williams to open us up in invocation? And then we all stand for the pledge of allegiance.
So, Father, we thank you for this day. Thank you for your loving kindness, your mercy, and your grace. Thank you, God, for allowing us to transition into another season, God, another season of life, another season of your prosperity. We thank you, God, for each and every person that is here today, each and every resident of the village of Maywood and those with Maywood interests abroad. We ask special blessings over each and every one of them and every single family that's represented today. God, we say special prayers and lift up special prayers for all of our bereaved families in the village. As we go forward with this meeting, God, we ask that you allow your grace to cover it. Allow us to proceed with decorum. In Jesus' name we thank you. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I need an approval of the minutes from the village board meeting and the board of trustees on Tuesday, May 7th, 2026. So moved. So, first was motion to approve by Trustee Sanchez. I will be the second by Trustee Williams. Please call the roll.
Trustee Williams?
Aye.
Trustee Sanchez? Trustee Jones?
Aye.
Trustee Owsley? Aye. Trustee Smiley?
Aye.
Trustee Brandon?
Aye.
Mayor Booker?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Great. All right, we will go into oaths, reports, proclamations, announcements, and reports. Our Director of Community Engagement, Ms. Banks.
Good evening, Mayor and Board of Trustees and residents.
Good evening.
The Village of Maywood extends condolences and prayers to the families in our community that have experienced a recent loss. The family of Mrs. Gwendolyn Folks, longtime Maywoodian. Mr. Charles Kelly, longtime Maywoodian. Mr. and Mrs. Harvey and Johnny Smiley, beloved aunt and uncle of Village Trustee Stephen Smiley, and the family of Miss Stacy Forrest. Proclamations. Juneteenth 2026. Juneteenth is the oldest known celebration commemorating the abolition of slavery in the United States, dating back to June 19, 1865, when Major General Gordon Granger and Union soldiers arrived in Galveston, Texas with the news that the war had ended, freeing the enslaved, and this news came 2.5 years after President Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation became official on January 1st, 1863. Juneteenth serves as a monumental day of remembrance and acknowledgement acknowledgement of the history, freedom, culture, perseverance, and achievement of the past, present, and future generations of the African American community. And the Village of Maywood raised the Juneteenth flag on tonight prior to today's board meeting. Men's Health Month is celebrated every June, focusing on raising awareness about preventable health problems and encouraging early detection and treatment of disease, including mental health among men and boys. It serves as a crucial reminder for men to prioritize regular checkups, screenings, and healthy lifestyle habits to address significant disparities in life expectancy. Upcoming events: Father's Day Barbecue and Car Show on Saturday, June 20th from 12 p.m. until 6 p.m. at Veterans Park. Come and enjoy live entertainment, music, health resource vendors, food vendors, and a great car show. Bring the whole family. Join the Village of Maywood and the Maywood Park District for a splash day in the park on Saturday, June 27th from 1 p.m. until 3 p.m. at Connor Heights Park at 10th and Washington. Caribbean Fest on Saturday, June 27th from 4 until 8 p.m. at Winfield Scott Park at 19th and Maywood Drive. Come and enjoy live music, food, and retail vendors and activities for the entire family. Speaking of splash days, join the Village of Maywood at the Horizon East Swimming Pool on Thursdays and Fridays from 2:30 p.m. until 6:30 p.m. for our free community swim days. Bring your swimwear, towels, and lock, and cool off at the pool. You can enter at door number 50. As a reminder, visit the Village website at maywood-il.gov and sign up for My Civic to stay abreast of all current and upcoming Village events, as well as to receive Village alerts. Mayor and Board of Trustees, at this time, we have a special young man from our community that we would like to recognize, Mr. Landon Henderson. At the age of 9 years old, Landon made history as the youngest champion in the 76-year history of the Times Bowling Tournament. He rolled a 614 scratch and 803 handicap to secure the victory and defeated every adult man in his division. We are truly Maywood proud. Congratulations to Landon and his parents. Please come forward. Yeah. Okay. You take an official village picture? Okay. No, for me. Oh, for you? Okay. All right, you all. All right. 1, 2, 3. Champion. Champion. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. A couple of other community updates. Just so everyone can mark their calendar, we have our Economic Empowerment Center that will be opening at 801 South 5th Avenue on June 25th. That will be happening at 1 p.m. right at 801 South 5th, the old Maywood Housing Authority building. So our new Economic Innovation and Sustainability team, along with our Safety and Wellness divisions, along with our Homeland, Public Safety team, and our Community Commercial Resource Officers will be based at that location and also focusing on economic opportunity and housing. We are having our construction going along with our food and medicine facility, so be on the lookout. That is the 1100 South 11th Avenue project, which is along the parade path. So we are under construction right now. Mark your calendars for that opening, which will be at 12 o'clock on Saturday, August 8th. We are also under construction, and road construction is continuing with our Maywood Market. So that is at 615 South Fifth, right on the corner of Fifth and Washington. So be on the lookout for that ribbon cutting, and that will be midday September 22nd. So mark your calendars for those great things happening in the village of Maywood. Also, I say partner upgrades. Our road infrastructure project continues to flow through the village of Maywood. So we have completed a large part of North Maywood by the end of this summer. We should have about 60% of Maywood resurfaced. Again, we are still working and doing projects in regards to our water sewer separation. We're also doing a lot of projects in regards to upgrades across the village of Maywood. So make sure you look out for your letters to let you know in advance when that road work will be happening. Look out for our water report. That'll be coming out in our July and August newsletter that gets mailed to every household. We also have 10 park upgrades. So 10 park tomorrow will be closed for upgrades to the basketball court, the football field, and finally the installation of the gate so that the gate will have protection for our youth on the 10th, 11th, and Washington Boulevard sides. We also have 5th and Washington field. So the field will be cleaned within the next 2 weeks, as well as grass seed laid, and we will be converting that area into like a downtown Maywood courtyard as we continue our work towards a federally qualified health center. And just look out for more upgrades and updates coming in the July and August newsletter. Mayor, with Trustee Brandon and Trustee Williams.
At this time, I would like to take the time and opportunity to invite the community out to the Safe Summer Proviso movie on the field over at Proviso East High School, taking place this Saturday, June 13th at 7:30 p.m. Throughout the summer, there will be Safe Summer signature events designed with youth specifically in mind. And so that event will be taking place on the 13th. Following that event, there will be a Proviso Township World Cup Day event, and that will be taking place at 1150 North 27th Avenue at Melrose Park. That event will take place at 1 o'clock p.m., and that will be at 5 Star Sports. Following that, there will be a Proviso Family Day of Bowling taking place at Edens Lane. That will be taking place July 23rd, and that will be starting at 6 o'clock p.m. And that's Edens Lane, located in Westchester, Illinois. Following that event will be the end of the Safe Summer initiative, which will be a Proviso Youth Game Day at Round 1. And that will be hosted on August the 7th at Round 1 over in North Riverside. These events are free and open to Proviso families and young people. And some events do require registration. And so for more information, you guys can go to the Safe Summer Proviso page. And the flyer is also floating around social media as well.
All right, Trustee Lee.
I have a question concerning the 10 Park project. Trustee Allen and I talked to Director Buchanan a couple weeks ago. We talked about the repayment of the playground. Is that a part of the upgrades that's going to happen?
Not the playground,
The basketball courts, right?
So the basketball court will get grouted so that the steel poles can go in for the fence, and the court will be laid and the fence will be put in. And then we also have True Green working on the football field as well.
So this is the project that he talked about a couple weeks ago. And as far as the basketball court, that's still under warranty, right?
Well, the whole basketball court is getting done. So all of it is getting pulled up for the fences, because it will be 2 main fences. So the 2 courts will have a fence, 2 courts will have a fence, and then there'll just be a divider in there.
And then that'll, well, I guess, would that alleviate the water
That will
situation
level
that
it.
we talked about weeks ago?
That will level it all out and take care of it.
Thank you.
Okay. Finance management reports, A, report in the amount of $2,189,705.83, or warrant list 200573 in the amount of $2,992,166.42. Are there any questions?
Mayor, I have a question. I would like to pull item number 117057.
Is the warrant list?
This is the warrant list.
So, say it again?
117 057,
057.
and the other number I will be quoted is 119 048.
119,048. Okay, you have a question for G.A. Payton?
I most certainly do. So my first question is pertaining to these two amounts. They appear to be the same, and it talks about basketball court restoration for $3,950. Those two amounts, two different amounts. And so, similar to the questions one of my colleagues posed as it relates to the work that has been done, and I've been already communicating with the interim manager Satchel in regards to the quality of work that has been done over at Kiner Heights Park, specifically the basketball court. And I heard mentioned just a few moments ago that the repaving of it would address the water problem that's sitting on the court. I'm not sure about that. It appears to me, after looking at that court earlier today, there's a drainage issue. There's improper amount of drainage on that, or opportunities for drainage on that court. And that's why the water is sitting on the court. And to be honest, and I also asked the interim manager as well, that I want to have the amount of money that we have spent on the park, specifically on the court as well, because to me, the project gives rushed, it gives undone, and for the amount of money that we spent on this, and that's why I want to park here for a moment, so I'm happy it was brought up earlier, the amount of money we spent on this park, I do not believe that the residents are getting what they're paid for. And the quality of the work, to me, it gives like it's half done. And so I'm here that there's more to be done. I guess my follow-up question that if there's more to be done, will the taxpayers have to pay for that additional work or for this court to be redone after already spending close to $1 million on this particular park? And to me, it just only to give the amount of money that we spent. And so this is directed to staff. I want to know who was overseeing the work that was being done on it. You know, were they qualified to oversee it? Was our engineers involved in the work as well? I mean, we paid, some engineers who are qualified to oversee this type of work in the past, and normally are involved in these type of efforts. Were they involved in it as well? So these are my questions, and these questions are to interim manager Satchel or Mr. Buchanan as it relates to this work, because to see the public works department out there pushing water off the court with push brooms, and the water is going across the entire court, and I have pictures as well, and it just, to me, just wasn't a good look. And I just don't think the taxpayers' dollars were spent. And that's why I'm pulling these invoices, because if they did the work on this court, I'm concerned about them doing anything else as it relates to really any work in the village of Maywood. But most certainly the basketball court, because it is, if I was to call it something, it looks like $1 million mess out there at that park with all of that water all across the court. It looks horrible. So to interim manager Satchel, can you answer those questions for me?
So trustee, if you have a question for village manager Satchel or director Buchanan, you know their office hours, you're more than welcome to speak to them.
No.
At this trustee, trustee, I'll let you go.
So
Trustee, I'll
but
let
my
you
question
go.
wasn't for you.
Trustee, I understand what you're saying. At the end of the day,
My question was
to
for
answer
you.
your question, trustee, this is a public meeting. I would love the opportunity to go like you just said.
Okay, go ahead.
Great. So at the end of the day, you already approved the funding to pay for the gate. So no, there's no more additional money for the gate.
I'm gonna talk about
We already talked about last summer that we would have to do upgrades when the gate came and when it was time to install the gate. So those upgrades and updates are coming already paid for, and we already are working on the field. So there is no new fees to come in with what we've already voted on and approved.
So what I'm saying is, And I want this to be very clear, and that's why we have public meetings for the purposes of transparency, and so that everybody can be on the same page of what's being communicated on all ends. So my question again to staff, will the village of Maywood, let me make it even
I
more
just
specific,
said,
will the taxpayers of the village of Maywood have to spend any more additional dollars as it relates to Connor Heights Park and the situation that's happening specifically with the basketball court? Because I already know what the issue is, and it really has not been addressed because it's a drainage issue. That's what the issue is. And so this is just, for me, and if you want to let staff speak, I'll just continue to go along. But for me, this is why it's important to have qualified people, competent and qualified people, overseeing these types of projects. Because what happens is, now we're having to redo something that should have been done correctly to begin with. And so I want it to be very clear and on the record that the Village of Maywood or its taxpayers will not have to spend any additional dollars as it relates to Connor Heights Park. Is that correct?
You already said, no, we don't have to spend any more.
We won't have to spend, okay.
Shea Paving is doing the work, the fence company.
And no cost to the village.
fence. No, we're not paying anything more, we've already approved all of this.
Okay, now I'm talking about fixing the conditions of that court specifically is what I'm speaking
So
of.
trustee, I don't know how many different ways I can.
I just want you to say
Tomorrow,
very
they
clear.
will be tearing off the asphalt, laying new asphalt as the fence is getting installed. I don't know how different to say that. I don't know how different to say we paid for this stuff already, so there is no additional new bill to receive.
Okay, but I know what the problem is as it relates to the court, but go ahead, go ahead.
Does anybody-
The next item,
The 119048.
well, that was together. Well, and this is again to staff, that's why we were here, because those two bills are the same exact amount, $3,950. So as I'm going through this packet, if I see something that looks like it's the same, I'm gonna bring it up, and I'm hoping that, the interim manager Satchel could address it.
So at this time, we're gonna, Ms. Hatcher has to pull up both of the invoices and look at it, because it does about this time, so we should send it back to later.
Okay, so, yes, because that looks kind of shady, but go ahead. The next thing I would like to pull up is item number 119063. On the warrant list, it doesn't say what services were provided, it just says Kelly Service, Kelly Consulting.
This is Alicia Kelly, who we approved her contract about 3 months ago. So she's doing service in regards to helping with the grant writing that we had going on during grant season, and then also the new organizational structure with all the new hires and stuff. So she's been on for about 3 months. But yeah, there's several different grants that she's working with the team to put in place.
What number is that?
119063. But we could definitely get you the list of all the grants. that
So
she's
it's
applied for.
listed as what, under Parks and Recreation, that's where it's listed at.
Because there's a lot of parks and recreation stuff in regards to parks and initiatives, such as she submitted the grant funding for senior programming, for youth programming, for after-school programming, for summer programming. She's assisted in regards to safety and wellness grants, submissions. So all of the stuff under parks, initiative, and programming, she's helped with those grant submissions.
Okay. I would just like to get what her scope of work is in writing to Satchel.
We can easily get the list of grants she's
The next item I would like to bring up is item 119066.
Lifelike camera.
And this is in connection with item 119068.
119066. That we're talking about lifelike a camera for Village Travis.
Correct.
Okay, and then what's the other one?
The other item is 119068.
119068.
So my question is, because this is like we hired 2 different photographers.
Yeah, So if you recall in Village Pride, Village Live, there were more than 40 sites of community cleanup that was taking place, including projects that were taking place. But then there were also the 34 different houses with rebuilding Cook that was taking place as well. And then we were also doing the footage in regards to the grant that we have from LISC and Cook County to do the 1100 South 11 building, where we had the school district 89 elementary kids coming over. So we couldn't have one photographer in all those different places at one time. So we had two different photographers.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that anything, I don't think I sent out anything, but if Ms. Banks could answer if anything went out in regards to the Rebuild with Cook initiative. I know that the village has had that relationship for some time, but normally like the board receives a notice when, and I did see pictures after the fact, when you have these types of initiatives that take place, especially with, any higher government entities involvement in it, we're normally invited to partake or participate in those initiatives. I don't recall receiving any invites for that particular event. I did see pictures of where the County Board President Tony Preckwinkle in town, and there was just no notice or invite that went out to the whole board. So I don't know how that happened.
Anything else on the long list?
There it is. Item number 119196.
196.
The name of the entity is Heavenly Sent Youth, an amount of $250. What was this payment for?
This was the Youth and Family Resource Fair. Ms. Banks?
I think it was one of our food vendors.
Okay.
So they had organization that sort. So Heavenly Sent,
So this is something that fed the youth?
Heavenly Sent Youth is a food vendor.
Heavily Sent Youth as a food vendor that provided food, plus the hot dog and stuff to the kids during the event.
Okay.
Anything else?
All right, and I would just like those documents that I requested. Most certainly, if I could just read
Just
that.
Anisha.
I'm sorry.
Anisha. Kevin.
No, well, that and most certainly the amount of dollars that we have spent on the Commonwealth project. I would like those numbers.
Okay. All right. Village President's report. Does anybody have any questions?
Just under the appointment process, how many seats remain on the commission or committee?
One.
Oh, only one seat remaining. I just want to again, anytime I get the chance or opportunity to do so, I most certainly will, that we open these, any committee or commission, that the community should be made aware of the opportunities that exist. It should be an open process where everybody has the opportunity, most certainly, to apply for it as well. What we have most certainly done too is there has been an open situation where members of the board most certainly could make recommendations, because it just appears, I'm not sure if that was the case with this particular one or the past either, but it's just a closed-door process as it relates to individuals being able to serve on any committee or commission that we currently have available in the village of Maywood. And it should be an open process where everybody is involved in being able to apply, and most certainly being able to make recommendations as well.
Thank you, trustee. I would say that some of the trustees did ask for the actual application. I don't recall you asking for one, but okay. Received. Okay, moving on to public comment. For public comment, you can have your name, but you do not have to give your address, and you have 3 minutes.
John Williams.
Dawn Williams. Construction being done on village-owned properties and parks. A board request was submitted in February 2026 regarding copies of permits and inspection reports on all of the properties, including 40 West Madison, all of the village-owned properties and parks. The board request came back stating that construction work on village-owned properties does not need to have an inspection or a permit. So work that's being done is not properly being inspected or has a permit, and that is problematic. GA Paving paved the alleys in 2004 for over $900,000, which is a no-bid contract. GA Paving also did, 2024 with a no-bid contract. GA Paving also paved the entire Illinois curvy path from 1st Avenue to 20th Avenue, 2024 no-bid contract. Last month, GA Paving was awarded a no-bid contract to redo the streets in the village of Maywood for $2 million. My question is, has Hancock Engineering or any engineering firm is going to be involved with the paving of those streets? GA Paving is also the company that surfaced the basketball courts at 10th Avenue. On March 30th, 2026, ComEd is installing new electrical poles in the vacated alley in between the 1100 block of South 5th Avenue, behind there. A senior citizen, Mrs. Wilson's fence was cut. ComEd supervisor said that the village told them that the property belongs to them. The property belongs to all the residents that live in that area on the 1100 block of South 5th Avenue and 1100 block of South 4th Avenue. No permission was asked of those residents. No notice to the residents or the neighbors was provided, letting them know that this work was being done. Mrs. Wilson was told by Public Works Director Greg Buchanan that she needed to provide a plat survey to prove that the fence belonged to her. Mrs. Wilson had the plat survey, and the plat survey shows that vacated alley, which was done back in the 90s, 7 feet of that alley belongs to each of the homeowners there. Acting village manager Maya Satchel was informed, but she said she knew nothing about the situation. Mrs. Wilson's fence is still damaged from March 30th, 2026. I would like to know who authorized ComEd to install the new light poles in that vacated alley. And we know that the taxpayers are footing the bill. The counters at the village of Maywood, 40 East Madison, are too high.
Yes, time. Jonathan Martin.
Greetings, Village of Maywood. My name is Jonathan Barton. I work at the Progress Center for Independent Living. We serve the needs of people with disabilities in suburban Cook County. We are very interested in scheduling a meeting to discuss issues of concern for the disability community in regards to necessary improvements to the front desk area surrounding the public space of the Village Hall in order to be in full compliance with all provisions of the Americans with Disabilities Act. We would like to have a meeting with your ADA coordinator. I'm available to join you in a discussion at any time that's most convenient for you. Please call me or email me, and I have my information right here right now.
Give it to Ms. Thank you.
Thank you. Brenda Hampton. Brenda.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I live at 12.
Hey, Karen, please,
Can you hear me? I live at 1205 South 15th Avenue, immediately south of the Prairie Path. As you know, the Prairie Path is a hidden gem in Maywood during the day. During the night, it is drug alley. Between 17th Avenue and 14th Avenue, there are drug dealings going on from 9 o'clock at night to early in the morning. The police have been contacted. My neighbor is afraid to enter her backyard because it's off of Maywood Drive, so it only involves 3 houses. I'm asking for cameras. I'm asking for some surveillance devices to make sure that our block, our 3 houses primarily, are safe. First thing. Second thing, the house at 1209 South 15th, immediately to my south, is a zombie house. I am 5 feet 10 inches tall. The grass in the backyard is taller than I am. I have built fences so that I don't visually have to see this house or the yard. But vermin, animals, critters, people are in that backyard. So again, I'm asking the village to be vigilant. I have sent emails. I have met with code enforcement about this property, and there has not been a resolution yet. Thank you.
Michael Gilmer.
Hello everyone, my name is Michael Gilmer. I am one of the owners of Yours Cafe and Bistro located 1115 South 5th Avenue in Maywood. Quick backstory, I only got a couple minutes. I'm a lifetime resident of Maywood. My parents owned an auto body shop on 13th of St. Charles. I grew up in Maywood watching my parents build to have something for us moving forward. Moving forward, my wife and I were blessed to be able to acquire the property there that was dormant for 34 years. It had rodents, raccoons, possums, everything living in it. The house next door to it also the same thing, full of vagabonds. Everybody don't know what that is, look it up. It's full of this. And by us being able to rebuild this property, it's a lot of talk about it, right? And so I just want to address it real quick that when we went to go purchase this property, the young lady, Dawn Williams, who's been up here dragging people up here to slander our names and slander our business. The truth is, Dawn was paid $10,000 to do the application when we purchased the property. She walked us through the property and took $10,000 of our money and did the application wrong. So to bring people in here, rally them up, to come up here in this village and destroy our name, I bind you in the name of Jesus. Nothing but the blood will prevail. As I say that it makes no sense that I have a neighbor that's behind us. I had a light put up in the back patio so we can have safety for my staff. And the light was bothering a neighbor on the block next door to Dawn. He complained about it. I cut the light off 6 months. I paid the electrician the money, but I cut the light off. I haven't used it for 6 months. I solved his problem. He had an issue. I fixed it. I tell my neighbor, if you have any issue with me, just come talk to me. I'm not here to be a nuisance. I'm here to bring something to be part of rejuvenating and rebuilding the infrastructure of Maywood. I'm from Maywood. I love what's going on. I want to see it grow. I want to see it be better where my kids can play and have opportunities as well. But you cannot come to slander how I take care of my family. This is how I feel. I don't have a job. These are my jobs. We also own a restaurant, 1117 Madison Street. We have another restaurant over there. We're trying to do something. We are homeowners. We pay taxes. Like, I don't know who all owns in here, but we pay taxes. A lot of people talking, but they don't own nothing in Maywood. We are working to do something. So I just want to say that if you have any problem with 1115 South 5th Avenue, Yours Cafe and Bistro, anybody, please come talk to us. We are not strangers, and we are not violent, or none of that. We're trying to do something great in the community. This is new to everyone, so we're willing to work with everybody because we never had this in the community before. So since we don't, it's new to everyone. Let's work together and figure it out so we can provide a place that people can come and have a great time. Thank you.
Karen Nixon.
All right, brother.
Hello, everyone. I am Carrie Nixon, and I'd like to know the status. I have 2 questions. First question is the status of 1833 South 18th, South 16th for Ms. Shaquana Vincent. And then second of all, I'd like to find out if the village is in compliance with the BSA Act. Pardon me? I can't tell you, Mayor, you need to know that.
I can't answer that. I'm asking a question.
It's a banking security
There's a
act.
lot of things that need to be
I didn't mean to put you on front because that's okay.
But that's,
It's
I'm
the
genuinely was asking.
I'm asking, it's the banking.
I'm saying I'm genuinely was asking you.
Okay, I
Because there's
appreciate
a lot of
that.
acronyms.
And I'll answer it. It's the Banking Securities Act. And it deals specifically with the land bank and its regulations. We would like to find out how you're reporting any activities associated with the land bank. That's it. So again, can I clap for myself? Thank you.
Shaquana Vincent.
Hi, my name is Shaquana Benson. I'm a homeowner at 1633 South 18th Avenue. My question is the status on my home. I previously was at the last meeting and mentioned huge violations in my home that has no building permits. The house passed and everything else. Maywood signed off on it, and there's no building permits. There's nothing, no paperwork in my file except 4 pieces of paper. I would like to know what's the status. What is the deal? What were you guys doing to help this situation or fix this situation? Because I'm in a home right now that has asbestos in it. I'm in a home right now, I cannot even really run my electricity like I need to because the panel blew, and it blew out some of the lights in the house. My house is flooding like crazy every time it rains. They came in and checked the water. The water is cloudy and bubbly. That's not good water. So I need to know what the status is.
Okay. All right. So for Ms. Williams, in reference to the 1100 fence, that was a project that actually was canceled by the village in Hancock. So the fence has not been fixed yet. We can get with ComEd and get a report to see if they can replace it because ComEd did the project. So that's not something that we're saying the taxpayers are paying for, but it's definitely something that we can look into giving a quote of whatever the fix needs from ComEd so we can get that taken care of. For Progressive Center Independent, Mr.
Could you
Moore.
speak in the speaker a little bit?
Okay. So just was saying that the project where the lighting was put or the different projects that was done on the back end, it wasn't supposed to be done the way, but if the fence was broke, then we can give that to ComEd to get repaired because that's not our fault. That would be more of a ComEd thing that they need to get taken care of. Speaking about Mr. Murray for the Progressive Center Independent Living, 40 Madison Counters has right in front of them, like if you're at the cashier desk to the left, you see that there's that window with the lower counter area. So any one of the cashiers, if they actually are working with somebody that needs ADA compliance, they go around to that window where the lower level is. So when you walk in, there's the high counter, but then there's also the lower counter, its own separate space, like the area that says information desk. So that's the ADA compliance that's been there since the building opened back in 2000. We talk about Ms. Hampton. So for 17th and 14th along the parade path, I can say that there are some new lighting and upgrades things happening along the parade path. We do have our commercial community resource officers that pay a lot of attention to the parks and green space, like until it gets dark. But now then they go focus on the park, on the commercial areas. So we can definitely get our commercial resource officers to pay more attention to that corridor and be able to work with the police. So we have those officers that are out as an additional assistance to the police for our green space and commercial areas specifically. So we can definitely get the CCROs over that area more. And then Director Buchanan and Director Banks definitely heard you in regards to the 1209 South 15th Avenue for the zombie house. So we can definitely look into that tomorrow. Mr. Gilmer, 34 years of an abandoned building to only be attacked by someone you paid $10,000 to is crazy. I thank you for your service. I thank you for you and your family investing in the village of Maywood. I pray that you continue to understand that there's more with you than against you and continue to fight the good fight. And in any way that the village of Maywood can give assistance in revitalizing the downtown corridor, we will be here for you. Ms. Nixon, so within the 16 South 13th Avenue property, 18th Avenue property, I said that at the last meeting when you had said nobody had spoken with you and you hadn't heard from anyone. After that, I did do the investigation and the conversation, and you had already been in communications with Director Buchanan. Since that time, there's been several conversations with Assistant Village Manager Tracy Bay in regards to trying to rectify the situation. They're trying to get in touch with the actual developer who developed the home, so they're working to help in regards with that. They did talk about that they talked to you in regards to the backfill issues and looking at resources to provide you in regards to that. They also informed me that they were waiting for your FHA inspection that you would have received when you first purchased the house, because they don't have that on record, but they would like to receive that so that by the time that they're talking to whoever the developer is that developed the house, that they have that inspection as well. So that is the report that I was given in regards to speaking to the assistant village manager, because at the last meeting, she's the one that went outside and spoke with you. She would have been here again tonight, but she's at the town at a conference. But the last thing she said that she was waiting for the FHA inspection.
She couldn't
But
have waited for that.
that's what I've been getting as a report.
Yeah.
But definitely, Director Buchanan can follow up with that. Assistant village manager, they can follow up with that because they communicated that they've been in contact with you, but they're really trying to get a hold of the developer.
Yeah, it's the asbestos for me. That's dangerous, just so you know, I have children.
All right. Okay.
Mayor Booker, you didn't respond to the VSA Act.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I want to find
VSA
out.
Act, okay,
Yeah.
so within the VSA Act, I mean, really, all of our Cook County land bank properties that we do dealings with is a FOIA thing because the Cook County land bank is Cook County. All of our transactions are recorded with the recorder of deeds with Cook County. All of the process goes through Cook County because the land bank is Cook County government. So any project or anything that we do with the land bank, you can FOIA it from the Village of Maywood's perspective, and you can FOIA it from the Cook County land bank
I
perspective.
understand that. I just wanted you to go on record saying that you are following the regulations.
You follow the regulations in regards to reporting everything to the county.
Confess that you are following the regulations.
I'm confessing that.
Thank you. Okay.
If there's anything contrary to that statement, I would love to see that as evidence. But if you have it, just give it to me.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
My pleasure. Okay, village manager reports. Is there anything for village manager reports?
Yes.
Trustee Ray?
Under the village manager report, one of the requests is to retain or hire Main Street Designs and Retail Solutions LLC in the amount of $47,000. My request is, and I've been pretty consistent about this, how we put out a request for proposal in regards to this work that's being requested for the store.
So this is Mr. Anthony, who's been working the project for the last 2 years. So as we wrote the grant, put the grant together, he's the one that did the specs out, he's the one that did the build out, he's the one that went down to Springfield to request the money. So there's no bid to give to a person. He's been working the project for 2 years, and now it's time to give him grant funding to see the rest of the project through.
Wait a minute. So we continue to use this narrative that, oh, we utilized this person before. So that's
It's not before, it's on this specific project.
My request or my question was very simple question, very simple, and it really required a yes. And I really was talking to village staff in regards to this, because what we're doing is we're getting very comfortable here in the village of Maywood, not requesting RFPs, not allowing things to go out for a competitive bid. And for me, it's very concerning. And what it does is it creates a situation like we have over here at Conner Heights Park, with water sitting on the court where you can go for a swim if you need to. So for me, it's important that we have this process and not just create like this new norm that, we've been working with this person, but we're not going to put out for our people. We're talking about $47,000. This is not small change. This is not small change that we just, giving away. That's why there's processes and procedures. This is an entire government entity, and we're, as stewards, elected stewards here, we are responsible to make sure that we are being good stewards over the taxpayers' dollars. And we're just operating, again, one of my favorite words, freestyling, willy-nilly with the taxpayers' dollars, no structure, no guardrails, just giving out money like it's ours. I know, not even like it's ours, because we wouldn't do that if it was ours. And so for me, it should have went out for an RFP. Well, we continue to use this narrative that, we have a relationship, just like with GA Paving. They did this, so we're going to give them this $2 million contract. But there has to be some structure. There has to be some processes of how we are determining and how we're coming up with these things. I don't even know how we even came up with this number that we have, 47,000. What if somebody else wanted to bid on this work or do this work and they wanted to bid 35,000? We have no options here other than what's being presented before us. And for me, I can't speak for this board, for me, it's concerning to vote on something like this. There's no other options. We're talking about $47,000, and it's just creating a new norm here in the village of Maywood, and it is not safe. It is unhealthy, most certainly with the taxpayers' dollars. And so, again, the question was to the interim village manager, because what we're doing is, my mind is trying to figure out, okay, so who's running the day-to-day operation of the village? And what type of processes are we utilizing to determine how we're going to operate, right? And how we're going to come up with things like this. Are we utilizing best practice? Because best practice is not just giving somebody a $40,000 check and not having a competitive bidding process in place, or at least coming up with 3 or 2 other proposals from someone else or 2 other companies, but just put one company in front of us, this board, and say this is all you guys have to work with. It's unacceptable and it's unhealthy, and it's an unhealthy practice as well.
Okay. So trustee, I understand that I don't understand actually.
You
So
should.
here's my reason, but here's the reality, because I don't. I'm going to explain it. This is a $2.5 million grant to renovate a grocery store that he wrote. He did the budget. He did the walkthrough over 2 years ago. He laid out, with working in partnership with the food market, what we needed. Anthony Smith comes from the background of working, opening, developing grocery stores. So when we had to put the grant budget together of what it would take from all of the HVAC work, electrical work, plumbing work, stocking work that has to be done, he helped budget that out, and he wrote into the grant as well when he gave the budget consulting services. So now when we are finally getting granted the money, receiving the money, allocating the money, trying to get the building open, it is now time to pay him to get the building open. He helped get all that stuff done in partnership of understanding. We were going to focus on grant funding. We did not have funding to work on at the time, but he actually helped with us put the grant together and did not charge us a dime. He worked with us in conversations with the state, with Senator Lightfoot, with Speaker Welch, with different grocers, without receiving a dime. So when you say there should be an RFP, the person who helped put the $2.5 million grant needs to have a competitive person come in and say, I can do better than what you actually wrote to get the grocery store open. That doesn't make sense. Anthony has been with this project since the beginning. This was before the first grant even got written, and we finally got the allocation the second time. So at the end of the day, trustee, I hear you in regards to making sure that we have RFPs, and that's why even when we do bid waivers, you now see in the board packet that there's 3 different bids and which recommendation of the bid to go with. But for this specific thing of $40,000 out of $2.5 million, that is grant funding from the state that was allocated to us specifically for the work that Anthony helped us complete, is just all thanks.
Well, can I please comment?
Sure, trustee.
So let me, if I could just be honest, I just want to be honest and transparent with the village and the taxpayers and the residents and everybody in this board. To be honest, we have heard so many different stories as it relates to this grocery store. The first story was that Living Fresh out of Forest Park was coming in and they made an offer to this village board for $350,000 they were going to buy the store.
That's not a story.
That's not a story.
But Anthony also
and then the second part of it was, we also heard, they're not going to purchase the store, they want to come in and manage it, meaning that the village of Maywood and its taxpayers would own a grocery store. That's the second part of it. Now you're telling me this evening, because at first you're saying that, Living Fresh been working with us since the beginning of this project, and they will operate over there in that store. You also brought that up. And now you're telling us, it's this gentleman. So is it Living Word who's been guiding the project? Is it this gentleman? It's been so unclear as it relates to this store. Maybe some of you all know what's happening, and I mean, that wouldn't be appropriate. That would be like a closed door situation. But I most certainly, there has not been anything presented in a formal process to this board as it relates to the current state or what we're doing with the store. All we see is these bills popping up, $47,000. I just read something in the packet. Over $300 and something thousand has been spent. So are we watching what we're spending? Who's in charge of this whole ordeal? It's given, again, willy-nilly, no structure, and no clear path of how this whole thing is working, because we done heard so many stories, it's hard to keep up with. And this is what happens again, it's just me being transparent. That's why it's important for me, this is speaking for me, that we have someone who is well experienced in municipal government as it relates to running the day-to-day operation of this village, because it's so many moving pieces, it's all a lot to keep up with, and it is all unclear of how we're moving and how things are being done here in the village of Maywood. And that's just me being transparent on how I feel. And so as it relates to this, it goes along with that whole narrative that we're just going, oh, we've done work with these people before, we're just going to give $47,000, this person's been working behind the scenes. No, they don't need to be working behind the scenes. They need to be working on the scene as well. This board needs to be well informed on the who, what, when, where, why, and how. All of those things matter. All of those things matter when we up here making decisions on spending money. And we can say, oh, it's rent funds, we're going to be reimbursed, but at the end of the day, it's all taxpayers' money. How do we get it? How do we chop it up? And so again, for me, there's no other options other than one. And we said that this gentleman been working behind the scenes. I didn't know that this gentleman was working behind the scenes. Should I have known? Absolutely, I should have known. And we're talking about paying somebody $47,000. So that's just me. But we can vote on it. We vote, and we'll have to spend more time on it.
So again, trustee, I just want for clear narrative and clear understanding so that you can dispel what's going on in your head versus what's going on in reality.
So that was
Anthony Smith has worked with Living Fresh since 2018. He has worked with Living Fresh. His company is Main Street, right? So his company helps get stores open. He helped open Living Fresh back in 2018. So as we've been working with Living Fresh to get the store open, the work that he has been doing has been in partnership with Living Fresh, which is why you have not seen a bill for him, because he's been working in partnership with Living Fresh. He works with our Economic Innovation and Sustainability Department. He works with our Public Services. He works with our Building and Code Department. With our Public Works Department. So yes, he has been working as a representative, partnering with Living Fresh, that he is now presenting a bill to continue to get us to actually opening. But yes, Anthony has been with Living Fresh and has been with the Village of Maywood. So when you say it's given, he is working with our Director of Economics, Innovation, and Sustainability. He's working with our Director of Public Works. He's working with both of our Assistant Village Managers. He's working with our Development and Sustainability Manager. They have walked the store multiple times over the past 2 years. He's actively involved on the phone calls with staff. They meet frequently. So when you give this narrative as if we just popped him out of the sky, it doesn't make sense. Yes, Anthony has been on multiple calls with staff because that is who is managing this project. So again,
it has not been part of not one manager's report, is what I'm saying. Now, one manager's report, we have heard nothing about this gentleman doing any work as it relates to whether he's working with Living Fresh, whether he's working directly with the village, and then in the bottom line is where some real clarity just needs to take place at is the direction which we haven't heard as of yet either, which direction Living Fresh is going to go in. Are they going to go with what they submitted to this village board as it relates to the $350,000 offer that they made to this village to purchase the store? That's what we need to know. And then that would probably remove the cloud of confusion once we understand that. But to the point that you just made, this board, unless there's only a select few that know, we had never had any conversations on behalf of this gentleman doing any work on behalf of the Village of Maywood. So to look at this invoice, say, even though I was working behind the scenes, How do we know if we never received any feedback? You say you talked to all of these different people, but the board is, or at least some of the people from the board, is uninformed that he's doing all this work. And just the correct process is, we need to be informed beforehand, not after. If we're looking at a $47,000 payment that's due to somebody, that's inappropriate. That's not how this thing works.
It's not appropriate.
We don't. What we're doing is we're doing it, and then we're coming to ask for permission later. I'm just going to say for the record that it's inappropriate. The behavior is inappropriate, and anybody that feels like it's appropriate is out of line. But go ahead.
So again, just for clarity,
That's the thing.
nothing in the bill is for previous work done. Everything for the actual
Taking the work
this contract
Go ahead.
is future work.
Go
So
ahead.
we don't owe him any back pay of anything. Nothing about what he's requesting is back pay of anything. It is to now focus on like the last 90 days of getting the grocery store open, that he's specifically more hands-on. He has a new application for a proposal and invoice that he's trying to get us to opening in the last 90 days. There is no previous bills that we owe him because we never had a contract with him. We have been working in partnership with Living Fresh that he has been working with through his company. But now, in the last 90 days to get the store open, he has the proposal to finish the work to get it open because he has to be more hands-on for the project. And it's already in the grant funding of his contractual services for the project.
Is this something, this is on the budget to approve?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I just want to make sure it's full.
Sure. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, moving forward, moving on. Trustee Jones.
Yeah, I want to ask a question related to the village manager. Can y'all hear?
They didn't ask no questions. They didn't ask no questions.
This is the board's meeting.
No, but we have a village manager here to ask a question. That's why we pay a village manager $160,000-$70,000 plus to be able to answer questions because they run the operations day to day. And so it's just
You're interrupting Trustee
on how we
Jones.
operate.
You're interrupting Trustee Jones. Regardless of phone government.
Go ahead.
You're out of order. You're out of order. Not confused on that.
You all are out of order.
Okay. Trustee Jones.
Yes, a few comments and then questions for the village manager. So I think here in the report it mentions our TIF audit. So we're still working on the 2024-2025. Imagine that's not just the TIF audit, but just the village audit in general. So I'm going to get an update on that. And I guess that can pay him $47,000 for the next 3 months. I'm just wondering, what does that all entail? So when we say consulting, what's his hourly rate? Just like so we get a, more of a detailed itemized, and it's not, it's the thing you say, it's not going to be for higher work, but for the next 90 days until the grocery store opens up. So I'm just wondering what that breakdown is. So those are my comments. So just to recap, the audit, the implications of the TIF, considering investing in a more robust washing solution for the public works department, and then just more details into the consulting fee and the dynamic with the Main Street retail solutions are my questions.
All right, so I'm gonna turn over your TIF question to Manager Satchel, but I'll say that the Buddy Bear overall car wash is something that Buddy Bear is asking us to post in regards to compliance that they have to do with the state of Illinois. We already use them as a service provider for our different departments, as our different vehicles have stickers. I hear you in regards to the daily washing, in regards to our bigger vehicles, so we can definitely look into that. But this is more so of an RP in regards to them wanting to go more out to state contracts, and in regards for them to have state contracts, they have to show that they're working with other municipalities. So this is more so something that they've requested for us to do in regards for them to be able to go after state contracts. And then in regards to Anthony, so, and just looking at the National Main Street, just looking it up, it's been around since 2005, looks like. And then Anthony, when you say he has some experience, he has over 34 years of experience specifically with Associated Wholesale Grocers that literally travels, stocks, builds, and opens grocery stores. So he is now working with another company within Main Street. It isn't based in Florida, but he definitely has been here several times. We have not paid for any of that airfare because, again, he's been a partner with Living Fresh on several different projects. This is now his contract specifically focusing on the village of Maywood. His previous travels and previous work has been in regards to focusing on helping Living Fresh with Maywood, but also helping with other projects as well, which is why now we're receiving a contract from him in regards to specifically getting Maywood open as a more interactive person that's in the day-to-day operations to get us to opening within the next 90 days or September 22nd. But with the TIFs, I'll turn that over to Manager Satchel.
Good evening, trustee. As it relates to the first reading of the financial audit, so we are wrapping it up. There were a few HR items that we needed to pull. As you know, we've had some transition and some movement. So the HR manager is had been looking for some personnel files that we've been able to pull together, and they need to review that. And that's one of the last items to wrap for that. As it relates to the TIF audits, the TIF for that year is part of this financial audit. The prior TIF audits from Baker Tilly have been completed. And then there's Ryan Services, who does the last part of that TIF audit to present at the JRB. And so we've re-engaged them. As you know, we've had some turnover in the now EIS department. And so we need to work with them, but that director's been engaged, as well as Bill Peter Hansen. And the thing that we need to do just to complete those TIP reports is just to go over and make sure what any new community development we had during those years. And so that should be wrapping soon. And we don't need to have those concluded prior to the new TIPs, because they will be separate entities.
All right.
Okay. I have one more question. That 2005 date, as far as when Main Street Retail Solutions was established, working out fine.
I just Google searched the company that's Main Street for open air shopping centers in Florida. So with the National Main Street Center, it was I just Google searched it based on the company. All right.
So just on their website, and the only reason I'm asking,
solution. So if you go 32 years of experience, 500 projects completed, 550 retail partners, 50 team members. Comprehensive retail solutions. Yeah, Trustee, I mean, Anthony Smith has more than 30, 40 years of experience. That's all I got for you looking at the website.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess I'll just wrap up my comment with this. If we can just, I mean, I can certainly vote on this now. The 47,000 for 3 months does seem high if we're not considering any other backdated work. If we don't have any billable hours or what that 47,000 is consist of. Just based on the date, the location, and the 16 how we're paying for for him to be traveling back and forth, or if you're already here, gonna be on the side. I guess I'm just curious what that breakdown is, and then just this entity, into the state of Illinois entity. I just want everyone to approve it for right now, to be a better grasp, just given the amount in, because of just the amount of the timetable. You're just trying to, I believe he has the experience in his career, but has this entity been around, just for, just coming up to the, and 2025, and then what's the rationale behind 47,000, what was his rate? Is it just him, or is it other individuals to know? I guess I just want to get a better grasp of that before we move forward. But that's my last comment on it. Thank you.
All right. So if you look on the board packet, under his scope of services, you'll see under scope of services that he's doing document review, he's doing project oversight and coordination, he is doing store planning and design, he is working in regards to an outline rate contractual to be paid up front, will be the first $18,000. So the staff members will be billed like it's in regards to an attorney. So he's looking at, from a director level, it's $400 an hour, it's principal $325, senior associate $225, associate $150, designer $125, and then BM drafter is $100. So it's right there in the contract if you want to pull that up and look at it. He's giving you terms in regards to the work being done. And again, this is just now being 105 days away from September 22nd. He's now making this project a more focused priority that his team needs to help make sure that we get open. So it's laid out in his contract. Okay. Is there anything else for village attorney report? All right, moving on. There are no trustee reports. So we're gonna go to Honor's agenda, but trustee, Brandon, what letter did you want to pull?
I'm pulling item number 15, S as in Sam.
All right, so we're pulling 15 items, S and Sam. Before I call the motion, I just want to thank every trustee that communicates with our department heads, our staff, and our village manager prior to a board meeting. The goal of a board meeting is to come and handle business, and where there are questions that can be answered prior to a board meeting, I just thank every person and every staff member that makes themselves readily available, whether it be in person or via email or phone call, to actually take the time, whether it's the board packet or questions prior to the board meeting, to actually do that. With that being said, I need a motion to approve Omnibus Agenda Item 15A through 15X, but pulling the item S. Motion by trustee Owsley. I need a second. Second by trustee Williams. Or was it trustee Smiley? Trustee Smiley. All right. Please read.
Letter A, motion to approve the monthly financial report in the amount of $2,189,705.83. Letter B, motion to approve the warrant list 200-573 dated May 31st, 2026, in the amount of $2,992,166.42. Letter C, approval of a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a professional services agreement with Edwin Hancock Engineering Company for the performance of construction engineering services for the 5th Avenue and Lake Street Business Corridor Streetscape Enhancement Project as part of the Rebuild Downtowns and Main Streets Capital Grant Program, and for the appropriation and expenditure of Madison Street 5th Avenue Tax Increment Financing District funds to pay for the construction engineering services. Letter D, approval of a resolution accepting a low bid from Alliance Contractors, Inc. for construction services for the 5th Avenue and Lake Street Business Corridor Streetscape Enhancement Project as part of the Rebuild Downtowns and Main Street Capital Grant Program, and authorizing and approving the execution of a construction agreement and for the appropriation and expenditure of Madison Street 5th Avenue Tax Increment Financing District funds to pay for the construction services. Letter E, motion to approve purchase and waiver regarding surveillance pole camera along with shipping and setup fees from Live View Technologies of American Fork, Utah for $26,860. See staff memo dated May 8, 2026. Source of funding, General Fund, Police Department. Letter F, approval of a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of an Illinois Department of Transportation Local Public Agency Engineering Services Agreement DLR 05530 with the Edwin Hancock Engineering Company for furnishing of Phase 3 construction engineering services for the Prairie Path Improvement Project, 5th Avenue to West Village limits, and for the appropriation and expenditure of certain funds to pay for the engineering services. Letter G, approval of a resolution approving the local public agency agreement for federal participation joint funding agreement for federally funded construction, state-led construction work, Form BLR 05310C, to be entered into by the Village of Maywood and the Illinois Department of Transportation, IDOT, and for the appropriation of village funds for the purpose of paying for the construction of certain improvements along the Illinois Prairie Path under IDOT project number 61M49, state job number C91-15926, MLT section number 2600142, 00LT, Prairie Path Improvements Project from 5th Avenue to West Village limits. Letter H, approval of an ordinance amending section 25, parking prohibited, of chapter 72, stopping, standing, and parking, schedule 3, no parking zones, and schedule 6, parking signs of chapter 76, parking schedules, of title 7, traffic code of the Maywood Village Code relative to the creation of no parking zones on certain portions of 10th Avenue and 11th Avenue in the Village of Maywood, authority to tow and properly parked vehicles, and providing for the installation of parking signs. Letter I, approval of a resolution authorizing the filing and prosecution of a demolition action relative to the abandoned unsafe building located at 212 South 12th Avenue, Maywood, Illinois, and approving and authorizing the expenditure of general village funds or other available funding sources. Letter J, approval of a resolution accepting a low bid from H. Linden and Sons Sewer and Water, Inc. for the 2026 roadway, water main, and parking lot improvements project, Contract A, and authorizing and approving the execution of an agreement and authorizing the expenditure of Madison Street, 5th Avenue TIP funds, and water system enterprise funds to pay for the work. Project 2026 roadway, water main, and parking lot improvements, Contract A. Letter K, approval of a resolution accepting a low bid from Narduli Construction Company, Inc. for construction services for the 2026 MWRD Green Infrastructure Alley Improvements Project, and authorizing and approving the execution of an agreement and for the appropriation and expenditure of MWRD Green Infrastructure Partnership Program and other general and available funds to pay for the construction services. Letter L, motion to approve competitive bid waiver and to authorize the acceptance of a proposal for basement restoration at 801 South 5th Avenue from Taylor Contracting Services of Broadview, Illinois, in the amount of $15,900. Letter M, Motion to approve bid waiver and authorization to approve payment of invoices numbers 2501102 and AB 2511101, AB 2511102, AP 2505113, AP 2505149, AP 2505150 for Magnus and Anderson Landscaping of Maywood, Illinois for services rendered between May 2025 and November 2025 for lawn maintenance, debris removal, and overgrowth clearing in the amount of $16,285. Letter N, motion to approve bid waiver and authorization to approve payment of invoices numbers 202503, 202601, 202602, 202603, and 202604 from TPI Building Code Consultants of South Elgin, Illinois for residential and commercial inspections and plan reviews services rendered between March 2025 and April 2026 in the amount of $14,691.75. Letter O, motion to authorize the acting village manager to execute contracts with security vendors, promoter, performer, music and entertainment vendors, and other necessary contractors to secure commitments for the 2026 Maywood Fest, subject to the village approved budgetary constraints set forth in the fiscal year 2026 to fiscal year 2027 annual operating budget for the 2026 Maywood Fest, and subject to village board ratification of such contracts and approval of the expenditure of village general corporate funds to pay for the services of the security vendors, promoter, performer, music and entertainment vendors, and other necessary contractors. Letter P, approval of a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a software services agreement from SEIN Tech Partners, Inc. for village implementation of and subscription to property management of software services in the village. Letter Q, approval of a resolution approving and authorizing an amendment to the professional design services agreement with Guider Group LLC dated February 12, 2026 regarding the proposed 1100 South 11th Avenue building renovation project, former ceasefire building, and payment of a fee proposal in an amount not to exceed $30,238 for the performance of architectural design and construction plan services and the appropriation and expenditure of local initiatives, support corporation grant funds, and other available village funding sources to pay for the services. Letter R, approval of a change order in the amount of $31,000 and amendment to scope of work to include repairs and restoration of a parapet wall in the previously awarded roof replacement contract to Genesis Construction Management, Inc. of Midlothian, Illinois for repairs for the former grocery store at 615 South 5th Avenue. Letter T, approval of resolution approving and authorizing the approval and execution of a change order to the vendor contract for goods, supplies, and services with Genesis Construction Management, Inc. regarding the full roof placement at 1100 South 11th Avenue, Maywood, Illinois, and authorizing the expenditure of local initiatives, support, corporation grant funds in the amount not to exceed $125,000. Letter U, approval of a resolution approving and authorizing the approval and execution of a vendor contract for goods, supplies, and services with Genesis Construction Management, Inc. for the full build-out at 1100 South 11th Avenue, Maywood, Illinois, and authorizing the expenditure of village and other funds in the amount not to exceed $1,082,008. Letter V, approval of issuance of requests for proposals for express car wash services with conveyor belt access. Letter W, motion to approve request for bid waiver and contract for Maywood Fest staging, lighting, video wall, and related services with Patino's Music LLC of Addison, Illinois, dated June 2nd, 2026, and to authorize payment of $11,700 to reserve book services with payment of remaining $11,700 upon delivery of services at Maywood Fest for a not to exceed total of $23,400. And letter X, motion to authorize the acting village manager to engage Carkill for labor and employment matters as additional legal counsel.
Please call the roll.
Trustee Williams,
Aye.
trustee Sanchez,
Aye.
trustee Jones,
Aye.
trustee Owsley,
Aye.
Trustee Smiley. Trustee Brandon.
Aye.
Mayor Booker.
Aye.
Motion carried.
All right, I need a motion to approve item S, approval of resolution authorizing and approving the execution of a project management agreement for the proposed 615 South Fifth Avenue grocery store renovation project and for the appropriation of expenditure of Maywood Street, Fifth Avenue Tax Increment Financing District funds to pay for these services. Need a motion? Motion by trustee Owsley. Need a second? Second by trustee Smiley. Please call the roll.
Trustee Williams.
Should the price be in here?
It is. It's under the contract agreement. That's fine. $47,200. Please call the roll. It's S on the omnibus, along with the annual report.
Trustee Williams.
Wait, there was no call for question. But it's the process.
We just went through the whole process of finding out the amount. Please call it.
Trustee
So you
Williams.
go through the process. Okay.
Well, Mayor, that's,
Go ahead. Go ahead and vote.
We're in the middle of a roll. If you wanted to,
But the process wasn't
Trustee,
right.
we just spent time looking up, pulling up the, if you had something to say, you would have said it at that time. We're in the middle of a roll. If you, the process is, if you know, if the process is, we're calling for the motion, she's calling for the roll.
Then call it,
If there was a, if you want to discuss it, you're going to say, make it fail and then discuss it. If you want to pass it, pass it.
No, but you still have
Please
to
call.
is there a question?
Trustee Williams.
This is the process.
Trustee Sanchez.
Are we skipping a step?
We literally had a question to pull it up. Please call
It
the roll.
doesn't matter. When the hour
Sanchez.
is full, that's still proper steps.
Trustee Sanchez.
You call for motion, the motion has been approved, then you call it after
Trustee
the
Jones.
question.
Trustee Jones.
No.
Trustee Owsley. Aye. Trustee Smiley. Trustee Brandon.
No, and the reason why I'm voting
Mayor
no
Booker.
is simply because
Motion
this
carries.
process was not done right, this board was not
There is,
informed on it.
no
right.
business, no
That's
old
why I voted no.
business.
So it's all a question.
Given
Process.
comment, we need a motion from, you got a trustee comment? Trustee comment and information, trustee Jones.
Yeah, well, the comment slash question, do we have a tentative date for the Fifth and Washington cleanup? I'm under the impression this is going to be done this summer. I thought it was going to be done past couple weeks. Is there a date on the table when that's going to be officially done? I guess that's a comment, but if we have clarity on that, that'd be good to know as well.
Yep, so that was one of the announcements that I gave earlier in the board meeting. The cleanup starts tomorrow. Then after the cleanup is done, they'll spread the grass seed to make it look more like a courtyard area and we move forward with the Federal Qualified Health Center project. All right, I need a closed session to go in for pending litigation, A, and then the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body or legal counsel for the public body, including hearing testimony of an complaint. Need a motion. Motion by trustee Owsley.
second.
Second by trustee Williams. Please call the roll.
Trustee Williams.
Aye.
Trustee Sanchez.
Sanchez, aye.
Trustee Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Owsley. Aye. Trustee Smiley. Trustee Brandon.
Aye.
Mayor Booker.
Aye.
Motion carried. Time is 8:31.
8:31. Okay, so we need to go into closed session. Thank you all so much for coming. If you all could exit so that we can go into closed session, that would be great. Good night, everyone.
Keisha.